Hey, I'm doing a quick video on my restorative justice lecture. Um, restorative justice, obviously, with conflict resolution, as we learned in class, has a lot to do with the criminal process and how a offender, victim, and the community all work together to create the best sort of situation for everybody involved to basically move on with their lives in the best, most productive way possible. For me, I was personally in a pretty horrific accident involving a car and a drunk driver. I was number 4 in the car. The other 2 passengers and me were all ejected from the car, and the other 2 passengers both died on scene. One actually passed away on top of me, and luckily I went away from that situation with pretty minor injuries compared to death. So this what I'm going to use for my visual is my leg was very scarred and hurt. This whole part of my leg was all gone. So that whole front of my leg is all part of a different part of my body. But it was a very, I've had about a dozen surgeries, and now I am looking at amputation. And I have a doctor's appointment coming up soon for that. So it's, I understand the hardship, the fear, the hate, the anger towards a offender. I understand the family's anger towards someone that killed one of their family members. It's a very tragic process and a very hard one to go through. So what I learned is there's different types of restorative justice, starting from very simple ones like circles that you can see in using in schools, and even using with a bunch of the same kind of offenders, facilitating in a circle and talking about what they've done and how that's affected other people. You'll see it in schools used with bullies and things like that. Victim mediation, is for more petty crimes. And then you have victim dialogue, which is includes more a little bit more of the community and different facilitators for a little bit higher crimes. And then you have victim, oh goodness, sorry about that. Victim offender dialogue, there we go. That is used between victims, offenders, and that is never one that's never court appointed, because it tends to be for bigger crimes like murder, homicide, things like that. So it's, like I said, it's never something that anybody's going to make anybody do. But if people are ready and they want to ask those questions of why you did this to me, what made you think, what were you thinking? You can if you want to sit across the table and ask those questions, you can. If you want to write a letter and ask those questions, you can. So those are really big aspects when it comes to emerging processes. It really started in 1970s is when this all started to take form and take shape. And now we have it working in a bunch of different settings, like, they're starting to use it in family court, in mediations of domestic assault, even. These are all modified versions. But they are experimenting with using these things to help curb the change of everybody just being incarcerated, and starting that cycle of offenders and reoffenders, and just walking that rotating door of going in and out, a lot of times from on the streets to back into jail, on the streets, back into jail. 80% of people in jail have not finished high school, and it's a problem. It needs to be educated, and for people that are in this process, some might be looking for that person or opportunity to better their lives when they do get out of jail. They can work, they can make a living. Right now our system is a get tough system. It makes it so offenders that go to jail, their whole life is going to be tough, even when they do get out of jail. And a lot of times, that's what victims want. They want somebody to pay for the rest of their lives. But, and this is hard for me to wrap my head around too, because I am a victim per se, and I do want my offender to pay for what he did. I'm losing my leg because of him, but is it going to help the community if he pays for the rest of his life? It is a reoffender. Probably not, but it's a hard pill to swallow. So yeah, but I hope this helped share a little bit of what restorative justice looks like, and different ways that it can be used. This is my second filming of the video. My other one was a bit longer, but apparently it didn't save, so this is my second one, and I hope I got in all the information. So, have a good rest of your summer class.